Okay, hey, how's it going? Okay, this is another one of my series. I have different videos, not on the same subject. Okay, this is reading old newspapers. And yeah, basically, I have a newspaper.com uh, subscription, and we go through old newspapers. Okay, let's start. I'm going to do Canada. I'm going to do Ontario this time. And where should we pick? Not Toronto, something small. Niagara on the Lake is a small little town. Let's do that. Let's see, what do we pick here? The Canadian. 18, there's only one page and one newspaper. August 1825, August 17th, 1825, Wednesday. Okay, first page. The Canadian. Okay, I'll just say it right now. Sometimes my audio gets broken up and skips and breaks. So I'm sorry if that happens. I still upload the video to the YouTube, even though it has some flaws in it. Well, let's see. Notice this is to certify. This is to certify to all men that the story of the hog, which has been represented to have been taken unlawfully from me by Mr. Clon Kinson, Clog Kinson, is very wrong. It was a boar that strayed away, and on my describing and finding it there, Francis told me he thought the hog was mine, as it did not belong to him. Sometime after, Hank Sivan came to my house and told me that my hog was so very troublesome they were obliged to shut it up, and that Mr. Hodgkinson wished me to come and take the hog away, and then went and brought it home. Theo's brandage. What? The story of the hog, which has been represented to have been taken unlawfully from me, by me, Hodgkinson, is very wrong. Huh. Information wanted. If David Lewis, who left Montgomery's Shire, England, about 7 years since, should see this, he will relieve the anxiety of his parents by repairing to Kingston, Upper Canada, where they are present reside. They at present reside. That's weird the way they say that. If any unforeseen occurrence should occasion their removal before he is apprised of this notice, he will obtain further information by applying to Mr. John Jenkins at the above mentioned place. Editors of the paper of the Canadas, the Canadas, and the United States are respectfully solicited to give this the gratitude's insertion in their respective publications and oblige the cause of humanity. So this guy, David Lewis, should be seen. He will relieve the anxiety of his parents by repairing to Kingston? Repairing to Kingston? Upper Canada. Huh. I guess his parents want to know where he is. Okay, second page. Where are we here? Ooh, what the heck is this? It's like a long editorial of some sort. That's not interesting at all. Let's go to page 3 then. Look at this one. Fashionable, I guess it says. Waterproof hats. Jay Stocking begs leave to inform the inhabitants of Niagara that he has lately received the newest fashion from London and has now for sale, of his own manufacture, elastic waterproof hats of above approved patterns that he can recommend. Wholesale purchases supplied with hats at short notice and on accompanying terms. Hmm. See, what are they talking about here? Oh, married and died. Can't read it. Died. In this town on Thursday of the 18th inst. INST. What's that supposed to mean? Of the consumption. Mr. Adam Chrysler, in the 29th year of his age, he bore his what? Lingering illness to great resignation and patience, and sunk into the arms of death in a serene hope, and full faith, through his Saviour, of being crowned with happiness. By his death, his widow and 2 children are bereaved of an affectionate protector. He will long be remembered for his many virtues by a numerous society of relations, acquaintances, and friends. He's only 29. What's this? Right here. There appears to be no doubt but that the Greeks have hit there too. Hit there too? Been successful in resisting the combined operations of the Turks, both by sea and land, with a good prospect of completely defeating the great efforts made by the Turks for the present campaign, which will be the 5th in which the Greeks have successfully defeated their newly acquired freedom. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Something's going on with the Greeks. this here? Murder. By the last Gaines newspaper we perceive that another murder is added to those we commit in the country. The Patriot. We are very report relative to the town of Clarkson, the substance of which is that on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week a contest took place between two dogs which led to an encounter between the owners of the animals and which terminated in the death of one of the parties, in consequence of the wound from a sickle in the hand of the other. The name of the deceased we have not been able to learn. A coroner's inquest was called, who found a verdict of willful murder by Walter Billings, 10 of the jurors dissenting. Billings was arrested, but we are informed made his escape from the officers on his way to jail. But he made his escape. Let's see. So that's, okay, next page. Stray cows. Strayed from the commons in this town about a week since. Two milch cows. I don't know what a milch cow is. One, a small red cow, almost 6 years old, with some white on her face, and the other is middling size black cow, 10 years old, with only one horn. Whoever will return said cows, or either of them, to the subscriber, or will give information where they may be found, at this office shall be liberally, I guess, rewarded for his trouble. B.C. Beardsley. Poetry. Okay, let's see here. Moral reflections. Written in a graveyard. I look around. I see the beds of thousands. There, where their weary heads in calm forgetfulness repose. Of earth's allurements, joys, and woes. There my proud soul a lesson learns. Man's formed to dust returns. The poor, the mean, the great, the brave, alike repose within the grave. No proud distinction there divide. Master and servant, side by side, their mouldering bodies lie and rot by the vain wood unknown, forgot. Beauty have here fades. The fairest flower in splendor blossomed but an hour. Young youth sinks into the silent tomb. The rests unconscious in its gloom. Bright hopes of future never can save the gayest, loveliest from the grave. The pale-faced messenger comes on, cut life's frail thread, and they are gone. Then think not perfect, lasting bliss belong to such a world as this. Shake off earth's chains, look up to heaven, if find it in thy sins forgiven. It's pretty good. I didn't read it that well. I could probably read a lot better. I'm sorry, I'm not a good reader. Okay, let's go to the next page. Let's see here. Oh. I don't know what to read. "30-day notice. The undersigned requests those indebted to him either by book or note to call and settle the same before the 1st day of September next. Otherwise their demands will be collected by law. See Hotchkiss." What's this? Stage arrangement. Rochester line. The Eastern Stage will hereafter leave Lewiston every morning at 4 o'clock and sleep at Rochester. Coming west will see that they didn't spell it right. Leave Rochester every morning at 4 o'clock and sleep in Lewiston. Buffalo line. The Lewiston and Buffalo line of coaches will continue to run hereafter daily, leaving Lewiston and Buffalo every morning at 7 o'clock. They didn't spell Rochester right the second time. Or the first time. Right there. I don't know if you see. They left an E out. I guess typesetting, they gotta put every letter in and they forgot. And they don't have people, it's all done by hand, right? So things go wrong. Okay, one more page and then we'll move on to another newspaper, I guess. A sonnet. Another poetry. Should we read the poetry? I don't know what that is. It's a story. A tale. Okay, let's do this poem. From the Philadelphia Gazette, Adams and Jefferson. They have gone to their rest full of honors and years, each crowned with their wreaths of glory, embalmed in the dew of the nation's tears, and internalized in liberty's story. They sunk in gloom and great darkness away, as if there were in the night time of honor, but they went on their country's glorious day, on the day which their labors had won her. No chariot of fire was ordered out, through clouds its pathway wending, but they rose on the wings of the jubilee shout, which from millions of lips was ascending. Had there searched through the days from their country's prime, which 50 long years was flying, they could not have chosen a moment of time so meet for a patriot's dying. Oh well, from the scenes of earth might they cease, and give their names to story. Oh well might they now depart in peace, having seen their country's glory. Their end has crowned a race which was run with an ardent and true devotion, like the glorious set of the summer's day's sun, when he sinks in the diamond's ocean. Okay, let's see what the next page is, and then move on. Oh, that's it. There's only 6 pages. Okay, let's go to something else. In Ontario. Wiarton. I know where Wiarton. I don't know where Wiarton is, but they only have one. November 22nd, 1916. Wednesday. Okay. The Canadian Echo. Oh, they have a little cartoon. Housewives may reduce the cost of living by baking their own bread, doing their own sewing, trimming their own hats, knitting socks for the family, shopping in person, sifting all ashes. Tired housewife. Oh, thanks. How to reduce cost of living. I should have read the title first. Poultry wanted, both live and dressed. We will have a poultry car at the Hempworth station all day Tuesday, November 28th. We pay highest cash prices and guaranteed square weights. All dressed fowl must be dry picked. Chickens, ducks, and geese heads off. Turkeys heads off and feet on. All crops must be empty. Simcoe Poultry Company. Wiarton. Monthly Horse Fair, Tuesday, December 12th. A monthly horse fair will be held at the St. Albans Hotel Stables every Tuesday before the second Wednesday of every month. The first fair will be held on December 12th. Buyers from Toronto and Montreal, also from other large centers, will be on hand to purchase all classes of good horses that are in good fit condition. As there is now a good demand for army horses for artillery and transport purposes, it will be a good opportunity for our farmers to dispose of good sound blocks from 1100 to 1400 pounds weight. Bring in your horses and help make Wiarton Horse Fair a success. The highest prices, best accommodation, plenty of buyers. Remember date of first fair, Tuesday, December 12th. Okay. Okay, let's see this. Oh, Reverend H.T. Crossley, who will conduct union list service church brigade appreciated. Wiarton Ontario, November 15, 1916. Dear Sir, we gratefully appreciate and desire to thank you and the members of the Brigade for valuable service at 12 and in connection with the Brigade. Yours truly, Johnston, Hunter, and Crawford, per J.E. Johnston. The Brigade, through the Echo, wishes to express their appreciation of this gift and to thank Miss Johnson, Hunter, and Crawford for kindness. T.J. Moore, Chief. Yeah, $10. I think that's so funny. Children cry for Fletcher's Castoria. The kind you have always bought, and which have been in use for over 30 years, has bore the signature of I don't know, I can't read it. This guy's H, whatever. And has been under his personal supervision since its infancy. Allow no one to deceive you in this. All counterfeits, imitations, and just as good are but experiments that trifle with and endanger the health of infants and children. Experience that's against experiment. Experience against experiment. What is Castoria? Castoria is a harmless substitute for castor oil. Paregoric drops and soothing syrups. It is pleasant. It contains neither opium, morphine, nor other narcotic substance. Its age is its guarantee. It destroys worms and allays feverishness. For more than 30 years it has been in constant use for the relief of constipation, flatulency, wind colic, all teething troubles, and diarrhea. It regulates the stomach and bowels, assimilates the food, giving health and natural sleep. The children's pancreas, panacea, the mother's friend. Panacea? Genuine Castoria, always, bearing the signature of, what is that? Cha H. Is it Fletcher? Looks like Fletcher. Junk wanted. Harry Goodman buys rags and gives from 1 cent to 2 cents per pound, rubbers from 5 cents to 7 cents per pound, horsehair from 30 cents to 35 cents per pound, copper from 8 cents to 15 cents per pound, brass 7 cents up to 12 cents per pound, tea, lead or lead, 2 cents to 4 cents per pound, Sheepskins 50 cents to $2 each. Horse hides according to quality. Beef hides, wool according to quality. Everything, $2 each. Everything delivered at house will be paid for according to prices offered. H. Goodman. Hmm. Okay, let's check another page out here. It's an advertisement. The great rush sale. Rush, rush, rush. I think this the whole page is an advertisement. They've got a whole thing here, huh? Furniture. 90 dining room chairs, hand painted. 90. We cannot buy them in now at double the price to go at per chair 75 cents. Not more than 6 to a customer. Rugs are expensive. Now, new shipment of 35 rugs suitable for parlors, bedrooms, and dining rooms in size from 2.5 to 3 yards, 3 by 3 yards, and 3 by 4 yards, priced at the upwards of $8.75. 22 only men's suits in black and navy blue serges, all from the old dyes. These are only for men who can wear sizes from 38 to 46. We are asking only half price, $12.95. Children's coat sweaters and big boys pullovers will be cleared at 65 cents. Boys fleece lined underwear 35 cents. Look at that. Okay, let's go to the next page. I don't know what to read here. $5. Hercules. The Hercules, a boot built to wear. Best grade of calf leather, black or tan, EE wide fitting, blucher cut, double Goodyear welt shoe and square heel. Sizes 6 to 11, $5. Ellie, the shoe man. Sole agent. Term strictly cash. Trucks and grips. I don't know what trucks and grips are. Okay. A lot of advertisements. Logs wanted. Highest prices paid. $10 per meter, I guess, above last year. Let's see what's good to read. Well, these are small towns that are putting in personals. What the hell, man? Mr. and Mrs. McEwen, Owen Sound, spent the weekend with Mr. and Mrs. A. B. Ward. Why are they putting that in the paper? Mr. and Mrs. J. C. Moore have been visiting friends in Toronto. Mr. H. Tate of Toronto spent the first 2 weeks in town. Why are you putting that? Lion's Head. A large quantity of fowl was shipped from here last week. Mr. Johnston was the buyer. Mr. Hugh Wilson left from Owen Sound to work in a munitions factory. I don't know. Okay, let's check out the next page. There's no news. It's advertisement and it's just like meanderings. This nurse's story. Ooh. Business cards. Notary publics, I guess. Telling them where to go. Legal. Business cards. They don't have business cards. They put their information in the newspaper instead of having business cards made up because they didn't have cards back then. Medical cards too, right? Doctors. So if you wanted to find a doctor or a lawyer, go to the paper. Oh, right. They don't have yellow pages either back then. Or I don't know if you know what all the yellow pages are. You might be too young. Ah, one more page. Again, it's a lot of advertising. Left, President of the United States. Right, Vice President of the United States. Honorable Woodrow Wilson, who was re-elected. Right, running mate for Wilson. I don't know who his running mate, Vice President, was. Woodrow Wilson was the President of the United States back then. 1916. Huh. Let's see here. Profits in winter feeding lambs. In the 6 years work conducted on the experimental farm system, the profits on the winter finishing of lambs has ranged from 25 cents per head to $2.10 per head. Cost of living. What's it say here? Those who indulge themselves with the idea that government can do everything, regulating the price of gasoline to taking the squeak out of the town pump, are now demanding that the federal authorities somewhere should accomplish food values, all least resistance, which happens to be upward, for the very good reason that food is scarce. Ottawa reports that eggs, white, while scarce and high, as we know, are being consumed in Canada in large quantities this year than last. The Western world has half a wheat crop, I don't know, it's broken up, while the Eastern world, under present condition, is eating more wheat than ever and is, of course, producing less. Millions of dollars worth of meats right here are being shipped from Canada to England. When Pat Burns or some other packer gets an order for $3 to $4 million worth of hogs for foreign consumption, only one thing can happen: the price advances. And still newspapers seeking popularity with the people argue beat the government something, the government must do something. But what will they do? Stop Pat Burns from shipping his hogs? Will the Prime Minister start on the tour of the country educating the hens on lines of better production? Will we appoint Sir Sam Hughes, keeper of ordinary of the beef cattle, so that meat neatly enclosed in tin cans will not reach the trenches? Will the Minister of Agriculture Burbank our cows so that they will have calves in litters in places of one at a time? Perhaps Sir Tom White will, in his idle moments, if he ever has any, write a monograph on how to grow winter wheat in the wintertime. 2 crops a year would help some. The newspapers suggest. Some newspapers naively suggest, of course there are opposition newspapers, that the government uncork a bottle of Hornets by commandeering the Western farmers' wheat. If any public man suggests such a thing between Winnipeg and the Rockies, and got away with his life, he would be fortunate, particularly in view of the fact that Western wheat growers have been holding, and are still holding, for higher prices, which are very likely to be achieved before the year is out. Fancy putting such a proposal before Honourable Bob Roberts for his sanction. Forget it, boys, forget it. Salts the Honourable Bob. Cold storages. When all fails, these Davids who would slay the HCL giant set their slings for the cold storage warehouses. By the very nature of its business, cold storage cannot be a monopoly. Cold storage machinery can be bought by anybody and operated by any mechanic. There is no deep secret about it. Plants are spread over the country from coast to coast, big and small, some in the hands of individual owners, others in hands of large packing corporations, who operate them for their own use. As a matter of fact, cold storage is one of the greatest boons we have. It gives us perishable winter foods, such as oysters in summer, and perishable summer foods in winter. Every city and large town has its cold storage plants, and owners of which are out looking for business. The lowest bidder gets it. There is plenty of competition, so excessive prices cannot be maintained. From the standpoint of economy, cold storage plants are among our greatest boons. They allow of the preservation of foods, so there is practically no waste, and by its means we have the benefit of many foods the year through, which, before the advent of cold storage, were unknown luxuries, except for a brief period of the year. The simple life. If we must live luxuriously, we must pay the price. But we are not prepared to go back to the plain living of a generation ago, when porridge was a habit rather than a diet, when new-laid eggs in the city were about as scarce as hens' teeth, to the time when mother patched and father cobbled, and home-made haircuts were not unknown. If the world went on to a malted milk rye bread diet for a spell, food prices would fall. But so long as we keep on consuming more than is produced, must anticipate higher and still higher prices. It is a condition for which this great world war is to blame, and no man or government can alter it one iota. Okay. Cream of the West flour, the hard wheat flour that is guaranteed for bread, so high in quality that we can safely guarantee it. Try a sack. The Campbell Flour Mills Company, Limited, Toronto. Huh. There's a guarantee there. Wow. Okay. It's been 45 minutes. Woo. Okay. That's the video. Man, time flies. I can't make videos really long because they take forever. My uploads take 10 hours on YouTube. Okay. That's the video. So I'm signing off. Remember, live your life and see what happens. Okay, later.